Hi there, my name is Thomas Jefferson, son of Peter and Jane Jefferson. I was the first to draft the Declaration of Independence, which was signed in 1776. I was also the third president of the United States in 1801, and I am currently the narrator of the story today. Before we get into how awesome I was to write the Declaration of Independence, let's give you a breakdown of who my friends were who were also in on the idea. This is John Hancock. Hello. If you don't know, John Hancock has the biggest signature on the Declaration of Independence. Some other interesting facts about John Hancock is the fact that he was the very first governor of Massachusetts, and he became president of the Continental Congress. Side note, the Continental Congress was the governing body by which the American colonial governments coordinated their resistance to British rule during the first years of the American Revolution. Next in line is John Adams. Hi. He was the second president of the United States right before me and right after George Washington. He was a fellow author on the Declaration of Independence alongside me and a few others which we will get to shortly. Following John Adams is going to be Benjamin Franklin, aka my best friend, Benny Frank. Hello. Also, don't call me Benny. Anyway, Frank here wasn't as big of a deal because, he wasn't a former U.S. president, but he still held an important role in the Declaration of Independence as he was another author. Now shoot. Moving forward to Roger Sherman. Greetings, historians. He is very formal in his ways, but anywho, he is the only person to have signed all four of the most significant documents in our nation's early history: the Continental Association from the First Continental Congress, the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, and the United States Constitution. So as you can imagine, he's pretty important. Last and most certainly the least we have is Robert Livingston. Hi. Now, why I say he is the least is primarily because the dude couldn't even show up for the formal signing of the Declaration of Independence. But besides that, he played a role in the development of the Declaration of Independence as well. The last four introductions, plus me, are what's called the Committee of Five, which was appointed on June 11th, 1776. John Hancock here is an honorary mention, as he is one of the founding fathers. Now that we have introduced everyone, let's take a peek at a blast from the past when the Committee of Five was drafting the very first and only U.S. Declaration of Independence. Well, I say we give the King of England a piece of our mind.
Well, yeah, let's do that.
But I agree. By the way, the whole basis of the U.S. declaring independence from Great Britain was standing on the fact that we wanted to stop being bullied by them, especially the king. Therefore, we wrote a list of grievances, which was us basically breaking up with Great Britain. It's a little toxic, but oh well. While I agree, I think we should stay professional about it and give it an introduction.
Well, yeah, let's do that.
But I agree. We now call this introduction the preamble. Pretty cool, I know. Alright, let's review what we have. It states, when, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. This will show our introduction, and the natural rights of rules of governments will follow. Now all those who agree with this statement say aye.
Aye.
For educational purposes, we cannot be certain that this is how the Declaration of Independence was written because it is the 21st century, and this was written in the 18th century. So use your imagination as we have today. I obviously know what happened, but we have been sworn to secrecy. Moving forward, I have compiled a list of ideas that were inspired by John Locke. John Locke was born in 1632 and died in 1704. He was a British philosopher and Oxford academic as well as a medical researcher. Unfortunately, his schedule is very busy and his assistant said he could not be joining us today. Locke is notable for making the statement that all men have the right to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. I feel very inspired by what John Locke has said about life, liberty, and the pursuit of property, but I think it should now state life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well, yes, let's do that.
But I agree.
Moving on, let us write a list of grievances to send to our former ruler. Because this list is so long, be sure to check your carrier pigeons as it will have a list of the grievances written out all for you. Last but not least, we have our formal declaration, basically a conclusion. We have finished our Declaration of Independence. Woohoo! Now all those agree, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Good. This entire process started on June 11th and ended July 1st, 1776. On July 2nd, 1776, Congress started to consider the Declaration of Independence. It was then on July 4th of 1776 where the U.S. Declaration of Independence was adopted and soon taken to be formally printed by John Dunlap, who was the official printer of Congress. On the morning of July 5th, copies printed by John Dunlap were dispatched by members of Congress to various committees, assemblies, and to the commanders of the Continental troops. On July 9th, the action of Congress was officially approved by the New York Convention. The document was signed by most of the members on August 2nd. George Wythe signed on August 27th. On September 4th, Richard Henry Lee, Elbridge Gerry, and Oliver Wilcott signed. Matthew Thornton signed on November 19th, and Thomas McKee signed in 1781. What we now celebrate every year on the 4th of July is what we have talked through today. I hope you enjoyed the show. See you next time.